What's happening, everyone? JayShockblast here, and check it out. We are about to check out all of the bounty hunters that you can play as in LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. It says that there are 16, but as you can see, there are multiple versions for Jango and Zam Wesell. So there are actually 14 different bounty hunters, and plenty of others that we could probably play as. Probably some that belong in either bounty hunter or smuggler that are under extra, but I digress. And if you're wondering how I have 3 of these guys on the screen right now, I am too. Apparently there's some kind of a glitch where Grogu will disappear and you can have extra characters, and I kind of love it. And these are my 3 favorite characters in the game. So spoiler alert, when I do my top 10 favorite characters video, this is probably going to be 1 through 3. So first off, we have the best character in the game by far, and my second favorite character in all of Star Wars, we have Boba Fett. What I love about Boba Fett is that he can fly a little bit. There are only like 3 characters that can fly, and 2 of them are on the screen right now. I think there's only 3 that can fly. I don't know if there's anybody else. The Sith Trooper, and maybe there's a jetpack trooper for the Stormtroopers. But those are the 3, and I love playing with Boba. You know, not only is he one of my favorite characters of all time in any form of media, but he's just such a cool and useful character in this game. He does the grapple hook gun, as most of the bounty hunters do, and the flight is just perfect. Being able to like go just a little bit of an extra distance. Just makes him so convenient. And I do try to cycle him out a little bit with his father, Jango Fett, but I just don't like Jango quite as much as Boba for some reason. We also have the Mandalorian, and also obviously you only get the Mandalorian if you have the DLC for Mandalorian Season 1. It was available from day 1 for people that got the deluxe edition and the season pass. So this is a character you can get out of DLC. Normally, Grogu is floating around with him, and it's kind of funny that I can't get that right now. And I just don't want to, because having 3 of them out on the screen is just awesome. I used him a lot early on because I didn't have Jango and I did not have Boba. You don't get them until the 2nd movie of each of their trilogies. So, not having them... this was obviously the character I wanted to use. I love Mandalorians in general. If you think about my favorite character in all of Star Wars, it is Darth Revan, and his mask that he wears is a Mandalorian mask. So, I have a very strong affinity to Mandalorian characters. And of course, we have the one that kind of didn't start them all, but he sort of started him all. One of the most important characters in all of Star Wars lore. You have Jango Fett with his double blasters. Obviously, he was cloned and created all of the clone troopers and his unaltered clone Boba. Of course, Mace Windu said, "Off with your head." Probably a little more less properly, but so we did get to see that. So let's go ahead and check him out in his alternate attire.
Bounty hunter, I'm your man.
There you go. He's our man. So he has his kind of non-uniform version. There's also a young Boba Fett, but he is listed under extras. So just keep that in mind. Speaking of bounty hunters, let's talk about the bounty hunters of Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. We've got Dengar here, and we've got IG-88.
What is the objective?
So here are 3 of those bounty hunters right here. You have Forlom, who is kind of a droid. And his blaster. Then you have Dengar. Dengar looks as good as he has ever looked in any video game. Like, honestly, this is the best looking Dengar that they've done. I'm pretty sure he's been in every LEGO Star Wars game. He always looks a little pudgy, but they made him look like super dope. I got an unlock code from them, like to show you how to unlock him without doing his quest, And I actually had him pretty early on in the game. And normally Dengar is not necessarily a character I love, but he's super cool looking in this one. Then, of course, we have IG-88, who, you know, we've seen more recently as IG-11 in The Mandalorian. He is another one of the most famous bounty hunter robots that were there, hired by Darth Vader in Episode 5. You also have Zuckass.
Zuckass glad you thought of him for your bounty hunter needs.
Zuckass and Forlom are pretty inseparable. They do work together. And then, of course, we have Bossk. So here's Bossk doing his thing. Obviously, one of the most...
better be worth my while.
One of the most famous Trandoshans in all of Star Wars. And we do actually have a boss battle with him. And then there's Zuckass, who is kind of Insectian, if you will. And then, of course, we can move on, and we can go over to Aurra
You want
Sing.
no survivors? Understood.
So you have Aurra Sing, famously battled with Aayla Secura, amongst others. They did a lot of stuff with her once they got into the Clone Wars cartoons. Both versions, the original animated series and the more recent one, I guess you could say. I'm pretty sure she was a lot more of a central focus in the more recent Clone Wars CGI animated series. Also, we have Boushh.
Do I sound funny? Can you hear that?
And Greedo. So Boushh obviously is a bounty hunter. This is kind of technically Leia as Boushh, as most cases are. Is that like a purple lightsaber almost? Like a vibro stick or something. So obviously in Empire Strikes Back, Leia, they I don't know if they kill Boushh, kidnap Boushh. They take his armor. He's like I think he might have been a retired bounty hunter at that point. And they take his armor and kind of play it off like she is Boushh. And that is pretty much why anybody even knows who Boushh is. Here's Greedo. He is famous for shooting second. And yeah, he's pretty dope with that. And that's really all there is to it. Alright, and let's go on. So next up we have Bazine Netal. Obviously we see her in episode 7 in Maz Kanata's castle. This is actually not even her first Star Wars game, if we're being honest. She was also in The Force Awakens, which is interesting. Next, we have the two different variations of Zam Wesell, the bounty hunter tasked with trying to kill Padme Amidala in episode 2 right at the beginning. We have her human form, which we kind of see her as, and then we have her alien form. It's kind of cool to be able to do both, although it would have been cooler if it was just one character and she could somehow morph into the other. But in any event, it kind of makes up 2 of the 16 bounty hunters by having her in this kind of slot. Next up, we have Rothgar Deng, who I want to say is also in episode 7 in Maz's castle. I mean, he kind of looks like Darth Vader's face over just a bounty hunter body. But, you know, he's got his gun, he's got his fist, does all the things. And then we're going to actually see a couple other bounty hunters that barely make appearances in the newer movies. We also have here Carib Diss, who I know we do see at some point, but he is more of a picture than anything else. And what a ghoulish face that is. Definitely a very cool looking character, has a Batman Who Laughs vibe to him. But yeah, there you go. Also, amongst our bounty hunters, we have 2 more characters that come to us from The Mandalorian. We have IG-88. I'm sorry, IG-11. And we have Greef Karga. So Greef Karga obviously is Carl Weathers' character, and I guess he's considered a bounty. I would have thought of him as more of a scoundrel personally, but they have him here as a bounty hunter with his double blasters. And again, he's part of the Mandalorian Season 1 pack, so you might not have access to it yet, but you will on April 19th when it releases for everybody. And then there's also IG-11, the nurse bot. I will say that IG-11 and IG-88 are, in fact, separate characters. So when you go into here, I mean barely, but you'll see that IG-88 does look different than IG-11. So there is that. But in any event, that is the bounty hunters of Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga. Who is your favorite of the group? I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see ya.